Ready to take things to a new level? This is Level On Up with Sardia.
Welcome, Casey Barnes. How you going?
I'm good, mate. It's great to be chatting to you again. It's been a while.
Oh, congratulations on the success of the last single we had a chat to you. That went gangbusters.
It did, yeah. We were really lucky with that one. It just struck a chord and got added to a heap of, commercial stations around the country. And it's been amazing. Like, it's nice to see some mainstream radio playing a bit of country music. So we're pretty stoked.
And there was a remix in there as well, a bit of a pop edition.
Yes, yeah, we tweaked it slightly for some of the stations, and it's what, it even got played. I was getting messages from people that were hearing it in like Woolies and Coles and supermarkets and all sorts of things. So it was great.
What about Michelle? Is she still in love with the song?
She is. My two daughters even gave it the thumbs up, which is big because they're hard to please. So it's been popular, which is good.
Oh, well, that makes me think of we've had a chat in previous chats about your TikTok, but you definitely got roasted on one of them recently.
Oh, did you see that? Did you? Yeah.
I did.
Yes, my 8-year-old, who literally was just here a moment ago, sat me down and gave me a pretty hard interview. There were no questions off the table, and she grilled me. So it was pretty funny.
How's the pocket money situation going? She still gets that?
Yeah, no, she's good. She does jobs around the house, and she's saving up for a Lamborghini, she reckons. So that's nice. All good. She's gonna need a bit of pocket money.
Well, tell us about the new single "Get to Know You."
Get to Know It. Yeah, well, it's a great song for summer. Perfect song, we thought to bring out this time of year, and I wrote it with two of the guys that I do a lot of writing with down in Melbourne, Michael Painter and Michael De Laurentiis. And when we started writing this one, Michael De Laurentiis, he just met this new girl and he was all smitten over her and hoping she felt the same way. And so it's a little bit about that, that first meeting and sort of, the sparks that fly and hoping, they feel the same way about you. And then we also felt it's a great song, coming off the back of a pretty tough last 2 years with, lockdowns and border closures and all that sort of stuff. And we're finally getting back out into the real world and getting to know one another again. So it's pretty fitting on that front too. Speaking
of great timing, the new album not far away.
No, it's literally a week away. It's been 2 years of a lot of work and recording and writing and picking the best 10 tracks to make the record, and very excited. So it's called Light It Up, and it's finally out Friday the 25th of Feb. So we've got we're on a mission. We're trying to get it to number one on the ARIA charts. That's our goal. So anyone listening who wants to help, yes.
Get on it.
Yes, on it.
So has Michael Painter worked on some of the other tracks as well, has he?
So the boys produced the whole album. Michael Painter and Michael De Laurentiis produced it. We co-wrote a lot of tracks together, but I teamed up with some writers overseas on this album as well. And so there's a bit of a mixed bag of co-writers on the tracks. And Get to Know You is a co-write with the boys. The previous single, God Took His Time on You, is a co-write with two amazing writers in Nashville that I've been lucky enough to work with. And so I mixed it up a bit.
Now, you didn't start off in country, and we've covered that before. How did you find the crossover or, crossing over to a different genre?
It felt pretty natural. I used to get, even people at gigs early on in the piece, when I was playing pub gigs 15, 20 years ago, and a lot of people would come up and say, you'd have a great voice for country. And at the time I was like, oh, really? Do you think so? And I wasn't so sure about it. And then it just naturally just happened. I made a couple of trips to Nashville, got to meet Rick Price, who was he had a big influence on me early on in the piece, and we did some writing. He produced some of my earlier stuff, and it just seemed to work. And then meeting Michael Painter and the boys from M Squared's really taken things to a whole nother level, because they're coming from a pop headspace, and I've got the country headspace, and we've sort of merged it together, and it just seems to work. So it's been good.
And the way country music has evolved, especially in the last decade, it's a little bit easier for that transition too, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's great, that as we were saying before, like country's not such a dirty word anymore. It's great to see that mainstream radio and community radio around the country is playing some country music. The likes of Dan and Shay and Morgan Evans and Keith Urban, and there's some great music out there. So it's nice to see it finally getting played.
With some of those artist names that you just dropped, are they going to feature on the album?
Oh, in my dreams, that'd be nice. I did get to do some stuff with on my current album, my last album. So two Australians who I sound like Molly Meldrum, but do yourself a favour because these kids are superstars. They're out of Sydney and they've bypassed the whole Australian country music process. Like they haven't done Tamworth and all that stuff. They've just gone to the States, and they ended up having like 3 or 4 different record labels like throw album deals at them. They're just like, we want to sign you. They're that good. And now they've signed to, I think it might be Sony Music in Nashville. And they're country pop, but so talented. They're called Seaforth. And one of the tracks on my last album is a song that was written by them. And it's one of my favorite songs.
Well, we'll definitely have to check them out. Along with the new album, a bit of a tour as well.
Bit of a tour. It's going to be a busy few months ahead. We're kicking it off next weekend in my old home state of Tassie, and then making our way, through Victoria, New South Wales, and Queensland, and we're finally coming to South Australia. Now,
I did have a note of that one. March 27th.
Yes, and actually, is it 26? We're playing at the Norwood Hotel. Is that right? I think I'll have to have a look at my show dates, but I'm pretty sure we're playing at the Norwood Hotel. And we would love to see some locals down in Adelaide. We'd love to see you there.
That sounds fantastic. I think the only months that you've got off from doing gigs is September through to November this year. That is insane. It's only halfway through February.
I reckon we'll fill those up. If Chuggy has anything to do with it, they won't be sitting there doing nothing, that's for sure.
Well, they've never been a business to not do anything before, so I don't think a pandemic's going to stop them.
No.
How have you found a touring life? I think you've probably had it a little bit easier than some of the other artists out there.
Yeah, we've been super lucky in Queensland because we weren't as hard hit as New South Wales and Victoria with all the lockdowns. We were able to do a bit of regional touring and play some big festivals last year. So we were very, very lucky, and now it's going to be nice to finally get into some of these other states that have been missing out and play down there too.
That sounds fantastic. So a big album launch on the day of release day. You're going to have a bit of a party?
We are. We've got to pace ourselves because it's going to be a big weekend. But it's funny, where we're launching the album, we could have done it anywhere in Australia. And, some would have thought I would have done it here in Queensland or maybe in Tamworth or Sydney or somewhere like that. But I grew up in Tassie, and the first time I ever got on a stage to perform was at this little pub called the Fourth Pub on the northwest coast of Tasmania. And my mum's got this photo of me, this young 15-year-old up there with the band with my guitar having a jam on stage. And we're going to take it back to the same place. We're going back to the Fourth Pub, and we've sold it out. It's sold out in 3 days, and we're going to do it there. So it's going to be a special feeling to go back and repay a lot of the people that have sort of backed me from the start, from when I was a young kid, and we're looking forward to it.
How long has it been since you've been there?
I haven't set foot in that place for a long time. Let's just say a long time. I go back to Tassie quite a bit because we generally try and get down there to play shows at least once or twice a year. But I haven't been. I've been wanting to play back at the Fourth Pub because they've revamped it. And now when John Stevens or Lee Kernaghan or Pete Murray goes down, they'll play there because they've got this big outside area where they put on their concerts and stuff. So we're going to put it there, and it's going to be great.
They've got nothing on Casey Barnes, I'm sure. The locals will love to have you back. Speaking of love, you have an amazing group of fans. A lot of things have popped up on social media recently, like with tag your favourite artists. Yours are just all over it. How do you keep up with responding?
Oh, my fans are pretty, I've got to say, I'm very lucky, very, very lucky to have very loyal fans who, they've got your back, and, a lot of them travel all around the place to come and see us play. They'll there's one lady in particular, she's already booked for 6 different shows on the tour that she's coming to. And a lot of them do that. And it's just amazing. I really appreciate it because, you've got fans that go to that extra trouble. And then it always makes me smile when you get the opposite, where you'll have the occasional person that's like, oh, can you play? Is there any way you can play on a Sunday? Because like on the Friday, I'm watching maths and then on Saturday I've got to work. So, if you could play that, and we live on this side of town, so I can't really make it to the other side of town. And it's like, then you got fans that travel miles to come and see you play. So it makes me laugh sometimes.
Don't they have like 10 replay or something? I'm not even sure what channel it's on, to be honest with you, because I don't watch peasant TV.
Rubbish show. But no, the point of it is I just find it interesting when, I don't know, some people that it's tough, it really is tough for an independent artist getting out there and touring and coming to these different places. And, we appreciate it when fans come along and, if they come from, a couple of hours away or whatever, just to make it, it really means a lot.
As much as I just had a bit of a dig at reality TV, did you get behind your home girl, Brooke McClymont?
What a legend. What a superstar. Yeah, I did. My wife and I were hooked on that show this year. And I know Brooke really well. She's an absolute legend and very funny. And what you see is what you get. So I was stoked to watch it. I'm spewing she didn't win, actually.
She did extremely well. Any hope of or any chance of you braving it and testing it out if you got asked, or more of a masked singer kind of guy?
No, definitely not the masked singer. That is a definite. You never know. It's funny when they were talking about the fact there was going to be a country artist on there this year. A few people thought for some reason it might have been me, but you never know. It'd be fun to do it. We love the show, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll go back to the album before I do let you go. Any surprises, any duets? I mean, we did say last time that at the last album that I was going to duet on it, and then we disappointed the fans. And, of course, we're going to do the same again because I wouldn't have done the album justice. But do we have anybody featuring on it?
Well, there's literally something for everyone on the new album. I reckon. You want to make sure it's a step up from your last one. So I really think that I think it's the best album I've ever put together. No real massive surprises with guest singers and stuff this time, but there's a lot of variety on there. There's the commercial tracks like the new one, Get to Know You, and we've got a few ballads like God Took His Time on You, but there's a couple of rockers in there. Like, I don't know if you've seen the latest music video for the new single, and I'm driving in like a 1967 Mustang convertible, but there's a couple of tracks on there where you can picture cranking them up, having the top down, and just driving it. And I reckon there's a few on there that'll be suitable for that sort of thing.
Well, I can't wait. It can't come quick enough. It's been 2 years in the making?
It has 2 years and a lot of blood, sweat and tears, and it's exciting to finally get it out there.
Well, I look forward to listening to it, and thank you so much for having a chat and taking our relationship to the next level, because people don't realise we've been speaking for over a decade, but we've never had a face-to-face conversation.
This is a good point, and I think we need to take it, a step further. And if you can come along to our show in Adelaide, we'd love to see you. How far away are you from Adelaide?
3 hours away, Adelaide.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to come, let us know. We'll look after you.
I would love to meet you in person. Thank you so much for being a champ as always. And as I said, can't wait for the new album.
Thanks, my friend.
Legend.
Follow Level On Up Podcast on Instagram.